of that forum. I'm Chamberlain Osa.
And I'm Harriet Agbe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, yeah, now we're joined by Mr. Segun Ogunsanya, who is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Airtel Nigeria. Yes, we're talking investment. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. Segun Ogunsanya.
I beg your pardon. I thought that's what I said.
This accident.
It was just in my Well, yes, thank you for coming on. Now, looking at investment, we're just talking about so much of investments, and the investment outlook in Africa has been talked about here. Your firm, I understand there's you increased your investment in Nigeria, I think by $600 million. So you tell us about that. But what's the challenge you're facing now?
We're very bullish about investment in Africa. We're in 17 countries in Africa. Nigeria for us is the largest in Africa. We account for almost 1/3 of our business in Africa. It's a reflection of the confidence we have in the African continent, and in Nigeria in particular.
Now, looking at, let's look at Nigeria now. Post-rebasing, we noticed that Telecoms actually contributed so much to the growth of the economy. So, going forward now, how much more can we expect the telecoms companies, or the telecom sector to contribute to the Nigerian economy, especially Airtel?
In terms of the rebased GDP, we're about 8.5% of the new GDP. That's a massive leap from where we were years ago. So I'm very excited to be in this industry, to be part of that great increase in the economic activity. But going forward, we're just starting the broadband penetration. If you look at the number of people who are connected to broadband in this country, it's less than 6%. And it's been proven in so many economics that if you just increase that percentage by 1%, you can have a huge multiplier impact on your economy. Some say between 3 and 5% leap in your economy. So by the time you get from 6% to 10%, the increase is just phenomenal. So we're in a sweet spot. What we need to do is to make sure we don't let the opportunity slip by. Whatever we need to do to leap into the digital generation is what Airtel is all about. Because very soon, we're not going to be talking about developed or developing economy. We're going to be talking about digital or not digital economy. That's where we're going to be very soon.
How are you engaging the young population? Because with the advent of technology, there's this tendency that in resorting to technology, you may just lose some human capital. How are you striking it? How are you balancing out?
I don't even think it's about the youth or it's about the old ones. It's about everybody. You just cannot win in today's economy unless you're digital, because everything is gone digital. So whether you're 14 years, 25, 30 or 40, you must be digital. You must use technology to improve your productivity. You must use technology to enable everything you're doing. So what we've done in Airtel is to continue to increase our 3G footprint, to continue to make sure the quality of service is robust enough to ensure that people, when they are connected, they can stream video, they can watch videos, they can upload, they can download, they can connect everywhere they want to connect with in the world. And I can assure you, we're probably the best in providing that service in this country now.
Yeah, Mr. Busa, I was actually going to ask you, because we've had so many issues with, poor network, and as with basically all the telecoms companies in Nigeria. And as a CEO of Airtel, it would be very good and very reassuring to hear how much the company is actually doing to ensure that all those dropped calls or missing messages or your inability to download videos or upload videos, as the case may be, will be addressed.
I think, let me reassure everybody, we don't make money when cops drop. We don't make money when you can't finish your internet session. So it is in my own interest to make sure we give good quality service, apart from giving you service for the money you're paying. So that is a fact. That anytime costs drop, anytime people can't browse, we don't make money. So I don't have any interest in providing bad quality of service. But you can't isolate telecoms from the environment. There are so many issues we're working on with all the relevant stakeholders to fix. We've got issues with power availability. Some of our sites we put 2 or 3 generators between the 25,000 base stations of all the 4 operators, and we have massive number of generators. When you have generators use a lot of diesel, that's a lot of cost that can be used in increasing the penetration of base stations. Beyond this, we also have issues around multiple taxation, multiple regulations. Fortunately, we are working with the regulator, we are working with Ministry of Communication to minimize some of these pains. But the quality you see can just be isolated from the environmental factors that make it more difficult for us than in some other countries to provide any better quality of service. But we realize that we know we know it's an obligation on us to deliver good service that we're going to continue to do.
So what about the broadband? Are you investing in that? Because I read of somewhere that you may not go for that 2.3 gigahertz spectrum. Will that change?
But that has been sold. I mean, it's been won by some other operator. Okay. We have our own plans for broadband penetration, and very soon you're going to begin to see a lot coming out of Airtel in terms of broadband speed.
Are we going to have that option, pardon me? Are we going to have that option for not just on our mobiles now, but at home, the wireless network?
You know, the good thing about mobile network operation, we provide two things. We give you mobility, we also give you same place connectivity. If you want to stay in your homes, you can have a router, you can have a Wi-Fi. There are so many devices we provide to let you live your lifestyle. We don't want to impede on your lifestyle. If you want to browse on the move, you can do it on your phone. If you want to browse on your house, you can do it on your iPad. Our SIM cards are able to provide connectivity anywhere you are.
Mr. Ogunsanya, you know that we're expecting a huge investment from foreign, investors and the rest of it to come in post World Economic Forum Africa meeting. Is the environment competitive enough? And if the environment is not competitive enough, when we see this foreign competition coming in, how ready is Airtel going to be to make sure that the niche that they've created for themselves stays that way?
I just had a session with some foreign investors who are planning to come into the country, and they're asking me how we feel. And I said to them, you guys are 10 years late. Any further delay in you coming, you're losing a lot of benefits. We're talking about issues in some parts of the country, and I said, if you focus on the difficulties, you're not going to be part of this economic boom that we're enjoying in this country. Because I don't know of many countries in Africa where we have 170 million people, 170 million people, where we have more than 6-7 cities, each one with 3 million people. That's a delight for any consumer good. So I'm very bullish about this country. We've got our own difficulties, we've got our own issues. But I mean, if you want to be big in Africa, you must be big in Nigeria. There's no way you can be a big company in Africa unless you're a very, very big company in Nigeria.
But is that reinvesting in the country? Because capital flight is not what the economy would like to witness.
I mean, we came into this 4 years ago, and we're very clear that we are in this country to stay. We are investing in technology, we are investing in people, we are investing in our communities. So we don't see this as purely an economic game for us, that we put money, we take money out. We see this as a long-term part between us and the many communities where we operate. That's why we're building schools. We're telco, but we're building schools in some communities. That is who we are. We just want to give back to the various communities. We want to bond with the various communities where we operate.
How about bonding with your stakeholders? Airtel is not listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and we know that the Minister of Technology, the Minister of ICT, Mrs. Obola Johnson, has really been trying to push some more telecom companies to be listed on the exchange, but Airtel is not.
By the way, we had a short discussion with the Director General of Nigerian Stock Exchange, early this morning. We discussed about listing the telcos on the stock exchange. We are not completely against listing on the stock exchange. We're just discussing the right conditions that will make it easier for us to list on the stock exchange. So we're not totally opposed to listing on the stock exchange.
Yeah, because that will really reduce this capital flight that we seem to always be having, where companies just come in and it's as if they bully us, take our money, and run away. And so as much as possible, we'd like to see that reduced. So in the short to medium term, how soon can we expect to see Airtel on the exchange?
Let me correct that impression. Companies don't come in to bully and take our money away. Companies come in to give value, and in exchange for that value, another value is given to the company. And most of the value is returned in this country. I don't know of any big multinational that is not reinvesting back in this country, but that is where the value is being created. So if you want to prosper, you just don't come into an economy, take money out without investing in your growth, because it's a cycle. The more you put in, the more you get. So it is in the interest of any private sector business to continue to invest in an economy that is as buoyant as Nigeria. And that is what we do in this country as well. We continue to put in money in additional base stations, in 3G, in transmission, in fiber infrastructure, and in our own people as well, to make sure we have the right capabilities to use most of the capex we bring into this country.
Yeah, sorry, Chairman, let me just quickly ask him this. We have young entrepreneurs, setting up hubs, various hubs and the rest of it. How much is Airtel doing to partner with such young entrepreneurs?
I mean, ran a competition about a few months ago for young tech-savvy guys who develop applications. We work with a partner. We continue to do things around developing local content, because we don't want this to be only a game for the WhatsApps of this world or for the Vibers. We just want local guys as well to develop applications that are locally relevant to us, and we continue to support such as we encourage most of our youths to go into the digital world.
All right, all the best, Mr. Segun Ogunsanya, the CEO of Airtel. But we'll hand you back now to the next plenary, investment in health at the World Economic Forum.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.